Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
Many years ago, people often made jokes about Hyundai cars. They said Hyundai made cheap, ugly, and unreliable vehicles. Some people even joked that a Hyundai's value would double if you just filled it with gasoline. They thought Hyundai was not a serious car company. But today, things are very different. Hyundai is now a top car company known for good quality. Its vehicles are among the best on the market. Hyundai now sells more cars than big, famous companies like Ford and General Motors. In fact, it has become the third largest producer of cars in the entire world, a truly amazing achievement. This big change is quite surprising. How did a company that people once mocked and laughed at become so incredibly successful? How did it grow to be better than much older and more established car makers? This story will explain just that. It is the story of Hyundai and the remarkable man who began it all, Chung Ju-young. He was not born into a wealthy family or as a powerful businessman. Instead, he started as a very poor farm boy in a small village in Korea. His biggest dream in life was simple: to escape the hard and endless work of farming and find a better life away from poverty. Chung Ju-young's path to building this huge company was far from easy. His journey was filled with many serious challenges, bad luck, and moments that caused him great embarrassment. He experienced business failures and personal misfortunes more than once. Yet, it was within these very struggles and setbacks that he discovered invaluable lessons. These lessons, often learned the hard way, became the true secrets to his astonishing success. As we go through this story, we will uncover how he learned from every single difficulty. It will show how a young boy with almost nothing managed to build one of the biggest industrial companies globally. Our amazing story starts when Chung Ju-young was just a young teenager. He lived a very difficult life, working hard on his family's farm from early morning until late at night. He looked around and saw a future he did not want. He decided he would not accept a life of endless poverty. So he made a very bold and desperate decision. He planned to run away from his home village. This was his first big act of defiance, a daring escape from the life he absolutely refused to live. What powerful feelings drove this young boy to take such a huge risk? What made him leave everything familiar behind and step into a completely unknown future? 2. A boy runs away. Chung Ju-young grew up in a poor village in Korea, which was under Japanese rule. He was born in 1915. His family worked hard on their farm every day, from early morning until late night. As the oldest of 7 children, Chung had to leave school at 14 to help. He planted rice, took care of animals, and sold firewood in different towns. Even with all their effort, there was rarely enough food. A bad harvest meant his family would go hungry for months. Chung hated this life. He often wondered if he would always be a poor farmer, never truly full, like his father. When he was 16, he decided he had enough. He ran away with a friend. They walked many miles through unsafe areas to reach the city of Kwon. There they found jobs on construction sites. The pay was small, but Chung was happy. He liked earning his own money and found it much better than farm work. But this joy was short. After only 2 months, his father found him and brought him back home. Chung had tasted a different life, and he did not want to go back. Over the next 2 years, he tried to escape 2 more times. Each time, he went to the big city of Seoul, and each time his father caught him. His father would tell him, "You are just a farm boy who finished only the 6th grade. Seoul has many educated people without jobs. A nobody like you will not succeed." But these words did not stop Chung. Instead, they made his wish to leave even stronger. Then a bad harvest came again. The village people had no food, and winter was coming. Chung saw this and knew he could not stay. He made a new plan. He would try to escape for a 4th and final time. This was the moment the real story of Chung Ju-young began. He left his village alone, with no money or belongings. He walked towards the city, hoping for a new life. Would he finally reach his dream, or would his father find him once more? First steps in business. After leaving his village, Chung Ju-young arrived in the city. He took any work he could find. He worked as a laborer, a construction worker, and a handyman in a syrup factory. Life was hard, but he kept looking for something better. The next year, he found a job at the Bokyung rice store. He became a delivery man, carrying rice on his bicycle. This job was stable, and it gave him food. The store owners quickly saw how hard Chung worked. In just 6 months, he moved up from delivery man to store accountant. His strong work ethic deeply impressed the owner. Chung was always busy and eager to learn, making him a valuable employee very fast. After a few years, the owner became sick and could not run the store anymore. So, at 22 years old, Chung bought the business. He changed the name to the Kyungli Rice Store. He offered low prices, which brought many new customers. The store made more money each year and became one of the best rice shops in town. But then a big problem hit. The Japanese government started a rice rationing system. They wanted to send rice to Japan and its army. This meant many Korean rice shops had to close. Chung had to close his successful store too. He had worked very hard, but outside forces took his business away. He returned to his home village with nothing. It seemed like he could never build something lasting. However, Chung did not give up. In 1940, he went back to the city. He looked for a new business idea that the government did not control. He found that car repair was a good choice. Chung borrowed money from a bank and bought a repair shop. He named it the Edo Service Garage. Chung knew nothing about cars, so he hired a skilled mechanic. There were not many repair shops then, and most charged too much. Chung offered the lowest prices in the city and treated his customers well. This simple idea made his business grow fast. He hired more mechanics to keep up with all the work. The garage was doing better than he had ever imagined. But just as things were going well, trouble came again. Soon a fire broke out. It burned down the whole shop, all the tools, and even the customers' cars. Chung was now in big debt, with nothing left. 4. Fire and War. Chung's Edo service garage was doing very well. Business was growing fast, and he made good money. But a terrible disaster struck just a few months later. A fire broke out and quickly burned down the entire shop. All his equipment and even customers' cars were destroyed. Chung was left with huge debts and nothing to show for his hard work. In his mind, there was only one way to fix this problem. He had to try again. Chung took another loan from the bank. He found a new location in a busier part of the city. There he opened a new repair shop. He kept his prices low and he took good care of his customers. People liked his service, and soon the new Ado service garage grew bigger than before. In just 2 years, it became one of the best auto repair shops in Seoul. Over 70 people worked for Chung, and he was more successful than he had ever been. He even planned to make his business even larger. But a big event was changing the world. Japan was fighting in the Second World War. In 1942, the Japanese government took over Chung's thriving garage. They needed it for their war efforts and joined it with a steel plant. Chung lost everything he had built for the second time. The city of Seoul was also becoming dangerous because of the war. Chung had no choice but to return to his home village once more. Despite losing his shop, Chung had managed to save 50,000 won. This was not a large amount of money after losing so much. But Chung was already thinking about his next business venture. Little did he know, this new plan was about to change everything for him and his family. 5. A company is born. After the Second World War ended, Korea became free from Japanese rule. In 1946, Chung reopened his repair shop. He named it the Hyundai Auto Service Center. The word Hyundai means modern in English. His business grew fast. The number of workers went from 30 to 80. He brought his family to live with him in the new country of South Korea. They all helped with the business. Chung saw how much money other companies made. He noticed construction companies earned a lot more from one project. So in 1947, he started a new business, Hyundai Construction Company. At first, it was hard. They built small places for the U.S. Army and fixed buildings. By 1950, things were getting better. Then the Korean War started. Chung had to leave his business and go to Busan. He had no money. He and his brother delivered newspapers for a while. One day, he saw a sign from the U.S. Army asking for help with construction. Chung quickly offered his skills. He built places for American soldiers during the war. He formed a strong friendship with the U.S. Army. He even helped build a special house for the U.S. President when he visited. When the war ended, Hyundai Construction was in a good position. The U.S. Army gave them many jobs. South Korea was very poor, so the U.S. government gave money to help rebuild. In 1953, Chung won a big contract to fix the Goryeo Bridge. This was a huge chance for his company. But this big project did not go as planned. Chung did not have the right machines or enough experience for such a large job. There were slow times, accidents, and prices kept going up. Chung ran out of money quickly. He had to take more loans. His brothers even sold their homes to pay the workers. Still, they finished the bridge. But the family now had many debts. They lost money, and other companies made fun of them. People said things like, "What does a farm boy know about business?" Chung and his family were very poor, living in small houses. He felt terrible about their struggles. At that moment, he made a promise. He would not only build a good business for them, but also create the biggest company in the whole country. It seemed impossible then. Was this a wild dream or the start of a huge comeback? 6. Building an empire. The Goryeo Bridge project, which had caused so much trouble, surprisingly became a major moment for Hyundai. Even though it was a disaster at the time, this big failure helped Chung in unexpected ways. His company got a high credit score from the government. This made it much easier for him to get loans and grow his business. Chung also learned how important big machines and modern equipment were. Because of his work with the United States Army, he could buy these machines directly from them. At that time, private companies were not allowed to buy such equipment from other countries. This gave Chung a huge advantage over other construction companies. With better credit and powerful machines, Hyundai could offer the lowest prices for projects. They won many jobs across the country. They built roads, bridges, dams, and buildings. In just 2 decades, Hyundai became one of the fastest-growing companies in South Korea. By the year 1960, Chung's dream of building the biggest company in the country came true. Hyundai, like other large family-owned companies called chaebols, received special help from the government. This included financial support and tax breaks. The government wanted these companies to grow fast to help South Korea's economy get stronger. Chung's hard work and determination were exactly what the country needed. His company grew into a huge group of businesses. Hyundai got involved in many other areas, like shipbuilding, running stores, electronics, and financial services. Chung was always looking for new challenges. But there was one industry that Chung never forgot. It was the same business he started and lost during the war. He still thought about cars. Chung was now a very successful businessman, a leader in construction around the world. But he decided it was time to go back to the car business. This was an industry that had brought him both early success and big failures. Now, he wondered if he could finally conquer the world of automobiles, or if the past would happen again. 7. A dream of cars. Chung Ju-young never forgot his dream of building cars. In 1967, he started the Hyundai Motor Company. He decided to work with the Ford Motor Company. Hyundai would build Ford cars under license in Korea. They quickly built a large factory in Ulsan. In less than 6 months, the factory was ready and the first car, the Hyundai Cortina, came out. The Cortina was a popular car in Great Britain, where it was made for smooth roads. But in Korea, the Cortina did not do well at all. Korea's roads were often rough and unpaved, making the car difficult to drive in many areas. People in Korea began to mock the Cortina, calling it a useless car. Customers became unhappy and stopped making payments. Many demanded their money back, and demand for the car almost disappeared. Things got worse. In September of 1969, a severe flood hit the Hyundai factory. 4 feet of rainwater filled the building. Expensive machines, car parts, and even assembled Cortinas were floating inside. Rumors spread that Hyundai was selling water-damaged vehicles. This damaged their reputation and sales even more. The company was pushed very close to bankruptcy. Despite these huge problems, Chung Ju-young refused to give up. When people told him to close the business, he strongly said no. He believed he would make it work, no matter how hard it was. He kept producing cars. Slowly, as road conditions in Korea improved, Cortina sales began to rise. Hyundai planned to expand and even make another Ford model. However, the partnership with Ford started to go bad. Ford did not want Hyundai to sell the Cortina outside Korea. They said their agreement was only for the Korean market. Ford also refused to share profits fairly. Chung believed that Ford actually wanted to take over the Korean car market for themselves. He thought Ford only saw Hyundai as cheap labor. Chung was furious. In 1974, he ended the contract with Ford. This left him in a very difficult situation. He had a car company, but no car. He had no car design, no technology, and no partner. How could he possibly build a car completely from the start? Standing alone against the world, Chung was about to change the whole Korean car industry into what we know it as today. 8. The final push. After ending the deal with Ford, Chung found new partners. He worked with Mitsubishi for car parts. He also hired good engineers from Europe. Together, they designed a new car, the Hyundai Pony. It was good for bad roads and did not cost much. The Pony quickly became very popular in South Korea. It was the first car made there for many people. Hyundai also sold the Pony in other countries, like Canada, where it sold well. But the Pony could not be sold in the United States. It did not meet America's rules for clean air. Chung did not give up. In 1985, Hyundai released the Hyundai Excel. This car passed the U.S. rules, so Hyundai could finally sell cars in America. The Excel cost about $5,000. This was half the price of other new cars. In the first year, Hyundai sold over 168,000 Excels in the U.S. They sold more than 1 million worldwide. This was a big step for the Korean car industry. Hyundai was now a big car name. But there was a problem. Hyundai cars were known for being cheap. People thought their quality was bad. Cars often broke. Hyundai cars became a joke in America. People even made fun of the name. Sales dropped fast. Chung and his team worked hard to fix this. They hired talented people and made their own engines and parts. By the 1990s, Hyundai launched new cars like the Accent, Sonata, and Elantra. These cars slowly got better. In 1998, Hyundai bought Kia Motors. Together, they invested much money to make their cars better. They improved how cars looked and how they were built. By 2004, Hyundai's quality was very high. They were almost as good as Honda and Toyota. But many people still remembered Hyundai's bad name. So, Hyundai made one more big move to show their cars were truly good. The company announced a special warranty for cars sold in the U.S. It gave 10 years or 100,000 miles of coverage. This long warranty showed Hyundai trusted its own quality. This decision helped sales increase a lot. Hyundai became a top car brand in the 21st century. Chung Ju-young spent his later years helping others. He passed away in 2001, leaving his company to his sons. Chung believed failures teach us more than successes. He said we should remember our losses. This way, we do not make the same mistakes again. Today, the Hyundai Motor Group is the third largest car maker in the world. Only Toyota and Volkswagen are bigger. Hyundai is also a leader in electric cars. This is the story of Chung Ju-young, a poor farm boy who built a global company. Chung Ju-young believed that failure was a more valuable teacher than success. What is the biggest failure you've learned from in your own life?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world.